71-68. Illinois squeaks by a really tough, physical Michigan State team in a game that I'm going to talk about a little bit now, a game that I genuinely think we needed. Um, it's a lot closer than I thought it was going to be, and Austin predicted it would be in our preview episode. But since we recorded that episode, I think it was on Tuesday, 9 of the top 25 teams in the country have lost thus far this week. It's been a tough week if you've got a number in front of your name, and this game was no different. Illinois could have very easily been the number 10 to have fallen. Michigan State, they came out and they played like their season was on the line. The fact that they're 1-3 in the conference, in some sort of ways, it was on the line. They needed to win this game. They're now 1-4 in conference, and they got a difficult road ahead. Obviously, they really struggled in their non-conference schedule, and so they're going to need every single Big Ten victory that they can get in order to make the NCAA tournament come March. There's no point in having one of the greatest March head coaches on your sideline if you're not going to be playing in the actual tournament. So Tom Izzo's definitely got one of his toughest jobs ahead of him. But that's enough of Michigan State. Let's just talk about this Illini team. This Illini team, what I kind of start off the podcast with is we've been kind of blown by teams for a while now. We won by 30 against Northwestern. We took care of Farley Dickinson. Missouri was a blowout. Purdue, we were on the opposite end. We kind of closed it up at the end to make the score seem a little closer than the game might have been. What I think our team has been kind of lacking is having a closeout game from a close game, if that makes sense. Michigan State, despite their record, they're a very talented bunch, and they're a good basketball team. And this game, for pretty much the last 10, 15 minutes, was a very close back and forth basketball team. And we all have questions. The lack of point guard. I know I keep harping on it, and they keep proving me wrong. But that's also the national narrative. Is having no point guard going to be the ultimate detriment to this team, especially at the end of the game? Well, in this game, there's no Moretti. Ty Rodgers, who I'll talk about in a little bit, he played 20 minutes. He had a great first half, but he really didn't play much in the second half. This team was down 8 points at one point in that second half and just completely rebounded. It seemed like just a couple minutes later, we were up by 7 points. This team just simply won't give up. And again, it's just nice that we're now at the point where we get to see them close it out. A close game, a game that wasn't already over with. Let's just start with the box scores, okay? First and foremost, I mentioned Ty Rodgers. Ty Rodgers, that first half, my gosh, he was so much fun to root for. He was, I believe, 5 for 5 at one point. He was hitting free throws. Let me check. Yeah, he hit 3 out of 4 free throws. I mean, when he's hitting free throws, then just watch out. You can tell Michigan State, once again, tried the same strategy that Purdue employed on Ty, but Ty just wasn't going to let that happen this time. And he had his arguably best game of the season. I think clearly the player of the game today was Coleman Hawkins. And, I know he's a senior and he does get talked about, but I just don't think he's talked about enough, especially post-injury. Obviously, the first couple weeks, he didn't quite play up to what we were expecting. And then it came out that he was hurt and he missed a couple games. Since then, you're talking about someone who impacts that defensive side of the floor as much as anybody I've seen in the country. And I watch a lot of college basketball, don't get me wrong. Today, he had 4 blocks, 2 steals in 38 minutes. 38 minutes, it's a grind. I know Austin and I kind of talked about, we were hoping to have a little bit of wiggle room late in this game so that we could have played some more guys, but that didn't happen today. We only played 2 guys off the bench, Harmon and Danger, and Danger only had 4 minutes. We're kind of at the point with Danger where we might just have to come to terms with the fact that it's just not going to happen for him here. It seemed like when he was put in the game, immediately Michigan State made a run. And again, it's noticeable because it was only 4 minutes of court time for Danger. He did finish with 2 points, a rebound, and 0 for 1 from free throws. That's kind of expected. He had a beautiful score from a Damask pass to Damask. He struggled a little bit in the first half, as scoring wise. You can really tell he kind of took on the mantle of being the playmaker. He was looking for open guys, trying to make plays. He couldn't get a shot to really drop for him early, but ultimately he finished with 15 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 4 from 12 from the floor. Again, he struggled a bit, but it was nice to see he had the ball in his hands at the end of this game when we really, just needed someone to score and to put points on the basket, especially now that Terrence is gone. We don't know what's going to happen with Terrence. Terrence is going to have, his restraining order meeting tomorrow. So, again, back to the point, I wanted to see how we play with the lead, trying to protect the lead against a good team in a close game at the end. And you kind of saw the game plan that Damask is up for it. There was one play where he just drove the lane and he made an almost impossible shot. And he did the same thing against Purdue. So I'm starting to feel more confident that he can be that guy. And if at some point we can confirm that he's that guy, then watch out. Then what are we talking about when it comes to the ceiling of this basketball team? Luke Goody, 4 points. I did notice 6 rebounds. If you watched Brad Underwood this week, he kind of called out Luke for not getting a rebound in that Purdue game, his lack of tenacity. And you can tell today there was a different Luke Goody out there. He was attacking the boards. He had arguably the game-saving play at the end of the game, grabbing that last defensive rebound where I think it was just maybe a couple seconds left at that point. He also had a steal. Quincy, his run of double-doubles has ended. He had 10 points, 6 rebounds, 4 for 12 from the field also, 1 for 6 from three-point land. They just weren't falling. But again, it's nice to see that nobody had a great game, especially on the offensive end today. Coleman Hawkins overall had a great game. 15 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists. But there was no clear dominant score on the court today. And I kind of tweeted about it earlier today while I was watching. Games like today are why I don't really take too seriously the crowd that thinks that this team is better without Terrence Shannon Jr. Today is the type of game where we actually could have really used a guy like him. But despite all that, we come through with a 3-point win at home. And we earned every bit of it. The referees really let a lot slide this game. It was as physical of a game as I remember seeing, probably since last year when we played Michigan State. And I believe that's when Brad Underwood had that famous quote about the Pizza Hut parking lot. It was genuinely one of those games. A lot of these players are going to be icing themselves in the morning. Just an overall great performance. It's the type of, I know I keep saying this and I say this every episode, but I don't know how I can't repeat this. Like, this team is just fun to watch. It's a likable team. These guys care for each other. These guys they're not one and dones. They're veterans who are playing together, playing cohesively, and they know that they have a chance to be a very, very good team. They have a chance to go as far as any Illini team has gone in the history of Illinois basketball. We have a coach who I think who I've always held in pretty high regard, and I think he's doing arguably his best job this year, whether it's adjustments or just roster management, the whole shebang. But that's all I have for now. I did want to say I had my previous video. I talked about the Terrence Shannon letter that he wrote to the student athlete panel, and I started off the show kind of talking about how if you enjoy this sort of content, we'd love to have you hit that like button, and more importantly, that subscribe button. And 35 of you did. And that may not seem like a big number to you, but we had 160 subscribers before that video. And now we're almost at 200. And I can't tell you how grateful I am to have seen that. I was keeping tabs on it all day. Again, for a solo endeavor like this, it's hard. Obviously our goal is 1,000 subscribers, and we're only a couple away from 200. Who knows? By the time we record tomorrow's episode, I'm going to try to record tomorrow's episode in regards to an update on the Terrence Shannon court case. We might be at 200, and I just want to let you guys know I'm grateful for it. Again, if you aren't subscribed, it's just a simple click of the button. You don't have to watch the content if you don't. I hope you do. I hope I'm able to get better at this with every episode that comes out. But I'm really appreciative of this. Please leave a comment if there's a type of video you guys want. I'm not all that great with graphics or anything like that, but I love to talk. I consider myself a knowledgeable basketball fan. So if there's a point of discussion you guys want me to talk about, I'm willing to do that. But overall, great Illini win. We have Maryland on Sunday. I'll try to get a preview episode up for that over the weekend. And I hope you guys all enjoy the rest of your nights. ILL.